I am now officially starting the Artefactors Union assembly video series, and today we're going to start off with Joss, the big guy in the middle here. Here is the render on the back of the box, and this is the sprue that we'll be working with. Obviously the biggest pain points are the tubes we have down here and up here, so we'll assemble the rest of them first. First thing of note is that you definitely need a good sharp X-Acto knife. There is a nub right here that you had to clip off from the sprue, and carving that thing out is going to be a lot more dangerous with a dull knife. Take that back, you want to get to here before starting on the tubes because this arm has nothing to do with them, and so it's just going to get in the way if it's there, so you'll attach that last. Now this is a good example of why you need good, at least a decent pair of nippers to go with Malifaux stuff, because there's a decent amount of tubes, chains, and pipes and stuff in the game, so you don't want to break those off with rough snips. For small fragile bits, it also helps if you grab it with your thumb and forefinger and just put a little bit of pressure against it while you snip. Okay, this part right here is going to attach like a fanny pack to his back, and then the end of the tube will fit on the end of his axe. Go ahead and start with the fanny pack part first because this is flexible enough you can slot it in later. Yeah, this kind of looks bad, but it'll slot in just fine. See? Okay, last two bits here. The bottom cable will go into his chest and connect to his arm, and this will wrap around from the back of his arm to the front. Okay, a long cable connection point is here and goes to there. There it is. Just make sure the glue gets it to stick roughly in place, and then you can adjust it with an X-Acto knife so that it's straight. Okay, for the U-shaped cable, the end with the bigger hook goes in the front of the arm. There we go. Just make sure to press in both ends so that it fits flush and put the arm on. And there we have it. Joss is assembled. Not too difficult. Just be cautious with the cables on his arm. Alright, Artefactors Union. This time we're going to be covering the mobile toolkit. Here's the artwork. And this is the render. Here's the sprue we're going to be working with. Focus camera, thank you. Okay, the plan for this, and my plan usually overall, is that we're going to assemble the body first, which is just these two pieces. And then we're going to attach anything that's like closely attached to the body, so that would be these like horn tube type things, and then we'll just do the arms and legs. Alright, here's the body, and the pipes will just go on the bottom right here. And there we go, this is what it looks like. Okay, so for the three arms on the top of his head, left, right, is going to be the power drill over there, the rock drill in the middle, and like the three screwdrivers on this side. Power drill, rock drill, three screwdrivers. Okay, the left and right arms went in just fine. The rock drill in the center doesn't sit too terribly well, so you're just going to need to fill it with a little bit and just make sure it's like in line with this ridge running down the center of the body, and it'll look fine. Okay, so the feet went on without any real complaint. Just press the feet down into like a flat surface to make sure that they're even, and that's about it. Alright, there he is, the mobile toolkit. Only few extra notes is that you make sure that the arms on top are dry before you put the legs on, or vice versa, otherwise you're going to be knocking them out of place. And possibly add an extra bit of support to him on the base. He is just kind of sitting on those fingers and a little bit of his palms, so might snap off a little easy otherwise. Artefactors Union. Today we're going to be doing the Medical Automaton A. That's this one right here. Kind of looks like a trash can or a dehumidifier or something with the cute little nurse hat. And that is our render. The sprue has both of them on here. You can sort of see the lettering. That's B, this is A, so we're going to be focusing on this part of the sprue. Okay, I'm going to start like we normally do. Build the body, put the head on top, add the little thing on the back, and then once the wheels are on after that, we'll go and start on the tubes, which are going to be the hardest part. Okay, body's together and the head is on top. First pain point is this right here, just because the piece that goes with it Can fit on it in multiple spots just because it's a flat square, but the hat is only going to fit a certain way, so actually attach the hat to this piece right here first before you put it on the head. There she is. Just a reminder, the drawer out is the front of the robot. So the wheels initially look like they can go in on either side, but I actually found that there's this flat contact surface here, and that's going towards the front of the robot. So looking at the robot itself, this wheel will go in there. Okay, for the back, we're first going to go ahead and do the third wheel that goes in this slot, then the backpack, then the pipes over the top of it. The wheel is got a really thin connection point here. Just try to get in as best you can. You might need to shave it off a little bit. If it's still wiggly, then you can actually probably just glue the wheel to the back of the bot. We'll see if I can get it with this one or not. Okay, I got it to be snug enough where I didn't have to glue it to the back of the robot, but right there is where you would glue it. The backpack is a little wiggly, so I suggest putting the pipes or tubes or whatever on the back immediately afterwards so it's not set in the incorrect position. That's what it looks like. Avoid nudging the wheel, otherwise you might knock it out of place. Had a bit of an issue with this arm. I ended up having to shave off a bit of it so it would slot into that part of the body. I made this model before, and it wasn't an issue, so I think it was just maybe a one-off with the sprue. Just get it in there and make sure the syringe is parallel to the ground, and it should be good. But yeah, I think it's an issue with the sprue because this part had a bit I had to completely shave off. Okay, so these two pits actually weren't that difficult. The part that goes to the body is just easy, and the tube just needed to be pressed and held in place. Alright, there we go. Medical Automaton A. Next up is the ball. Artefactors Union Medical Automaton B. There's the artwork, and that is the render. This is the sprue. It's got chopped in half. It had the other medical automaton on the other half of it, so this is the part we care about. As per usual, we'll be assembling the body first. Basically, all the pieces kind of attaching to this one here, and then once all that's done, we'll add the arms. Okay, first piece together, and something I noticed that you're really going to have to push it up against the lip there at the top, otherwise it's going to be just a little bit more difficult to get everything aligned right. Alright, next piece in, piece 3, there we go, and 4. Alright, I pulled this apart just to show it to you. This is the top looking down, and this ridge right here is actually supposed to glue to this bit right here. You can kind of see where the ridge is. Oops. Anyways, it doesn't quite fit all the way inside the circle. You can shift forward and back, and so that's there to kind of tell you where it needs to go. And there's also just a little tiny ridges right here where the eyes will go on the head. And this is what it looks like when I glued it back on. You can see that there's just a little bit of gap in the back here, then this little whole thing for the tail / syringe. The hat went on without any issues, so I went ahead and attached the tail thing. Stop wiggling, camera. Just set it in there until it feels right. This looks good to me, and it's roughly even with the center line of the model. For the arms, the connection points aren't that obvious, but on this side, the short arm will go right in there, and for this side, the long arm will go right in there. There it is, Medical Automaton B done. I think this one's cuter than the last one, but obviously some fiddly parts with the arms. If this was my kit, I'm doing it for someone else, I'd probably cut off the claws and reattach them at better angles. They're kind of at a weird angle.